Oh, brilliant. And I guess just to kind of finish on a really positive note, I've got two really nice questions that I hope is really exciting for you. In terms of your time at Runnymede, what has been the kind of biggest accomplishment for you within your role?
That's a good question. I think probably when there was a report that was released in late March, early April last year, which was from the Commission on Race and Ethnic Disparities, which has since been widely discredited. But Runnymede was really involved in providing a counter narrative to that, not because we were set out to do that, but because we fundamentally disagreed with much of the content of the report, and we were going to say something about it. So we, in collaboration with other charities, started this open letter and created social media assets, and it was just so amazing to see something that I actually produced in terms of the content being shared by people like Riz Ahmed and all these celebrities, and I was I follow him on Instagram, and then I was just after a really long day of work, I was just scrolling, I was I made that, and he was sharing it, and it's really cool to see something that we as a team created under really rushed constraints and with having to really just all muck in, really pay off like that. And I think the letter ended up getting well over 20,000 signatures, I can't remember the exact number, and we made a huge impact with that, and it's definitely carried over into the work that we do now in terms of people recognize us for that. That was a really amazing achievement, and also I think just always the little things, the little wins. Every time we put a report out, just when it lands well and people receive it properly and well and are welcoming to the findings, because it's not always positive, the work that we do. We try and make sure that everything we do is in a productive and as positive way as we can. But if you're producing a report on race and racism over the last 4 years in Britain, it's quite depressing a lot of the time, and it has a lot of depressing statistics. So trying to balance that with joyful things as well. But yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, it must be, although obviously it comes with a lot of challenges, like you mentioned, a lot of things which can kind of make you feel a bit this is incredibly frustrating. But the fact that you can directly impact societal change, whether that's on a large scale or even just, making someone think twice about the language that they use or the perspective that they have, or, something that they would have, that maybe they've learned from their parents, they've learned from, historical literature, anything like that, just changing even one person's perspective. It must be incredibly rewarding to be in that role. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I've seen, obviously, I follow your company, your organisation on all the social media platforms. I've seen the type of content you put out there. It's so engaging and impactful. Yeah, it must be incredibly rewarding to see you having such an impact, whether that's on a societal basis or, even just changing one person's perception even on the language that they use, the biases they may have, or the decisions they make on a daily basis, just making them think twice before they carry that action or word or whatever out. It's incredible. I guess very, very quickly then, and lastly, and again, I really appreciate the time you spent with me today. There are a lot of people, I think, particularly with the up-and-coming generation, who want to get involved with organisations such as yourselves, whether that's in a fundraising role or, a lot of people are starting their own charities, which is brilliant to see. If somebody was stepping into a marketing role within a charity, what advice would you give them?
To be honest, the most important thing for me has been how much I care about the work that I do, and not on a marketing sense, but how much I care about the work that Runnymede does. So I think with any marketing job in particular, I think if you really care about what it is that you're working within, whether that's in a corporate or charity space, actually doesn't really matter. If you really believe in the work that your employer is doing, that makes marketing it just a million times easier, and you don't really have to think about it. It just actually comes very naturally. So I think that would be my main piece of advice. Just make sure, it's actually a very privileged thing to say, because it's the first job I've had where I actually like what I do. Well, no, not exclusively, but this is the first time I'm working somewhere that I really am wow, this is exactly what an organisation that is completely in line with my views personally. And yeah, it's really cool to work somewhere like that. And I know that not everybody has the privilege to do that yet in their careers. I hope that everyone gets to a place where they feel that. But always look for organisations that are really in line with what you want to promote. And then I think everything else becomes easy, to be honest. Not easy, but intuitive.
I think that is incredible advice for anyone going into any sort of role is to look for a company that aligns with your values and who you want to be as well. It's important for people to be fulfilled within their job, and it sounds like you are, which is great to hear. But thank you so much for your time today, Rohini. Really appreciate it. I know you've got an incredibly busy schedule, changing the world. So it's nice that you've taken an hour out of your day to speak with us. Before we go, is there anything exciting that Runnymede is doing at the moment that you'd like to talk about or mention?
Well, last week we were involved, the last year we've been involved with a legal challenge on government level cronyism, and last week the High Court ruled in our favour, which was really exciting. So that was a really momentous moment for Runnymede in our history, and yeah, it was really cool on a marketing perspective. You put out the press release, you press go on social media, and it's just like, oh, and it's like suddenly it's like breaking news. I was like, oh, that's me. Not me, but like I triggered that. So that was really cool. But I think, just the upcoming partnership work that I mentioned. We have a lot of stuff coming out in April. We obviously have a beautiful new website, which is really exciting for us, which we hope that everybody will go and have a look at. And that's with huge thanks to you at Proctors and Stevenson. So yeah, I think watch this space.
Brilliant. Thank you so much again. And best of luck with everything moving forward, and we'll be keeping a close eye on all of Runnymede's activity. But thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Sophie. Really nice to see you again.